The Trump administration has lowered tariffs on Japanese automobiles to 15% starting today. In contrast, Korean cars are still subject to a 25% tariff, raising concerns that Korean automakers could take a heavy blow in the U.S. market.
트럼프 행정부가 오늘부터 일본산 자동차 관세를 15%로 인하했습니다. 반면 한국산 자동차에는 여전히 25% 관세가 적용돼 우리나라 자동차 기업에 큰 타격이 예상됩니다.
네. So these tariffs started today, actually.
Yes.
The reduction started today at 1 in the afternoon, Korean time. The tariff was lowered on Japanese cars down to 15%. As you know, the Trump administration has been throwing around all sorts of tariffs. Tariffs are on you. Tariffs are
That's
on
right.
you. They're off you. They're 50% on you. They're paused over here. So it's obviously caused a lot of chaos around the world in global economic markets. So the Japanese originally in April were also paying 25%. But so that actually boosted their tariffs up to 27.5% because
That's right.
they had an original 2.5%. But then they reached a trade agreement in July. That's been one of Trump's goals, is to draw people in for negotiations. So that meant that on September 4th, President Trump signed an executive order putting that U.S.-Japan trade agreement into effect and therefore reducing that tariff on Japanese cars down.
That's right. 현지 시간으로 16일 오늘이죠. 한국 시간으로 오늘 오후 1시 1분부터 트럼프 행정부가 일본산 자동차에 부과하는 관세를 15%로 인하했습니다. 그 전까지는 일본이 기존 2.5%의 관세에 25%의 새로운 관세를 더해서 27.5%의 관세를 물고 있었어요. 그런데 지난 9월 4일 일본산 자동차 관세를 15%로 인하하는 내용을 담은 미일 무역 합의 이행 행정명령에 트럼프가 서명하면서 이번 인하가 이뤄졌습니다.
네. So Korea hasn't finished with their tariff negotiations yet. Actually, upon the announcement of this news that the Japanese were getting the reduction, because of course Korea's number one export to the United States
It's automobiles.
is cars.
Yep.
And they are definitely competing with Japanese automakers like Toyota, like Honda. And so this is a very big deal. So yesterday, Trade Minister Yeo Han-gu departed for Washington, D.C. So there was a broad trade agreement reached on July 30th, but there's still some details that the United States and Korea haven't
to work out.
Right, haven't agreed on. So mostly it's about what's going to happen with that $350 billion investment that South Korea has agreed to make in the United States. It's on the details of that. So hopefully the trade minister can work something out because that 25% tariff rate is sticking on South Korea for the time being.
That's right. 일본이 미국 자동차 시장에서 가격 경쟁력이 이제 강화가 됐죠. 우리나라는 관세 협상이 아직입니다. 아직 이제 협상을 더 해야 되는
그렇죠.
그런 상황이고요. Korea hasn't reached a tariff deal quite yet. They have to work out the details.
Right, and hopefully that will happen quickly because competition has certainly been reduced in contrast to the Japanese automobile industry. When we say A is in contrast to B, of course, it's a comparison situation used to emphasize the difference. So in contrast, Korean cars still have that 25% tariff on them.
That's right. In contrast는 반면에 대조적으로 이런 뜻이죠. 두 가지 것을 비교할 때 사용하는 그런 표현입니다. In contrast. In contrast, Korea hasn't reached a tariff deal yet.
Not yet, but hopefully that will be right around the corner because until that agreement is reached for Korea, the Korean automobile industry will be taking a heavy blow in the U.S. market. So to take a heavy blow, a blow in this case is a strike or some kind of a hit, so
Impact.
something negative, right? An impact, exactly. So to take a heavy blow literally means to just get hit really hard. But to get hit really hard can mean something economic.
Yeah.
It can mean something emotional.
That's right.
You can use it in all different kinds of situations when you're having some very heavy negative impact.
That's right. Take a heavy blow는 어떤 큰 타격을 입다라는 뜻이에요. 이 표현은 뭐 비즈니스에서도 사용할 수 있고,
네.
sports, 정치. You can say somebody. You can also say somebody took a heavy blow, right?
You definitely can.
Yeah. All right. So 두 가지 표현 지금 살펴봤습니다. In contrast, 반면에 혹은 대조적으로 take a heavy blow, 큰 타격을 입다.
You want to read that story one more time for us?
Sure, I'd love to. The Trump administration has lowered tariffs on Japanese automobiles to 15% starting today. In contrast, Korean cars are still subject to a 25% tariff, raising concerns that Korean automakers could take a heavy blow in the U.S. market.
All right, let's move on to some happier news. Park Chun-hyo, the writer of the hit musical Maybe Happy Ending, has been named a co-recipient of the Asia Game Changer Awards, alongside composer Will Aronson. The work swept the Tony Awards this year as the first ever Korean musical to receive 6 Tonys.
인기 뮤지컬 어쩌면 해피엔딩의 작가 박천휴가 작곡가 윌 에른슨과 함께 아시아 게임 체인저 어워즈 공동 수상자로 선정되었습니다. 이 뮤지컬은 올해 토니상을 휩쓸며 한국 뮤지컬 최초로 토니상 6개 부문을 수상했습니다.
And we've got the AI theme running right
I
through
know.
here too, because this is about 2 AI-based robots who are actually obsolete in the future, which is something we're definitely going to be dealing with once that AI robot situation really takes a hold of our society, which I imagine is right around the corner.
I know.
So 2 robots that in the future in Seoul, they fall in love and they learn what the real meaning and emotion of love is.
네, 뮤지컬 어쩌면 해피엔딩은 뭐 가까운 미래라고 볼 수도 있겠죠. 해기 직전에 두 구형 로봇 올리버와 클레어가 서로에게 끌리면서 어떤 사랑과 행복의 의미를 찾아가는 이야기인데요. 이게 it's not so happy.
No.
They come to a certain realization.
Right.
Yeah.
We won't spoil it
No
in
spoilers
case you
here.
haven't seen it.
Right.
But it's created in both English and Korean. So this was at the Tony Awards in June when it became the first K musical to get 6 different categories, to win 6 different categories, including the first time a K musical has gotten Best Musical, also the first K musical to get both Best Book and Best Score. So Best Book means the script,
Yep.
and Best Score means the music.
It's amazing. I mean, you know, we've seen K-pop artists like idols make headlines around the world, which was in itself amazing. And then all of these K-dramas making waves around the world. There's a new wave of Hallyu right now.
Right.
And so many foreigners want to learn Korean
Korea's
because of it.
So hot right now.
But then for a musical
Right.
to gain such recognition in such a prestigious awards event, I mean, the Tony Awards, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
which is, of course, like the Grammys or the Oscars for musicals. Korea's a cultural force across so many different mediums these days.
네.
So maybe Happy Ending also scheduled to be released as a film, and it tied for a leading 10 nominations
Amazing.
at the Tony Awards. But right now we're talking about the Asia Game Changer Award. BTS has also received this award
Yep.
before. This is no just small award. It's given to a lot of really big people. Malala even got it. You know Malala?
Malala Yousafzai?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right, human rights activist. And Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba,
Yep.
also won it as well.
2014년에 시작된 상이고요. 이 Asia Game Changer Award, 아시아와 세계 간의 유대를 깊이 강화한 비전 있는
네.
세계 리더들에게 주어지는 그런 특별한 상입니다.
That is correct. So back in June, this musical swept the Tonys. When you say sweep the awards, it means you win a whole bunch of awards given at a ceremony, like in a dominant way. You're like a huge, complete success.
Right. And the other expression, first ever, 사상 최초의 라는 뜻이죠. We
네.
want to really emphasize something. When we want to emphasize something, we use this expression. First ever award.
Right. The
Yeah.
first ever K musical to win the Best Musical Award.
Exactly.
Tony.
사상 최초의.
네.
All right. Shall I read the news one more time?
Let's hear it.
Park Chun-hyo, the writer of the hit musical Maybe Happy Ending, has been named a co-recipient of the Asia Game Changer Awards alongside composer Will Aronson. The work swept the Tony Awards this year as the first ever Korean musical to receive 6 Tonys.